Hello folks, this is Sula speaking, and you're watching a commentary video on League of Legends, this one featuring Annie. This was a pretty epic game that I played yesterday in a pre-made team here, and it's one that I really wanted to cast, so I hope that you'll be able to stick around and watch this long video. I'm playing Annie, as I said at the beginning. I'm in a pre-made team along with Ape, playing Xinjiao, Earthstrike, playing Zillion, and another person who I had not seen before, named Ryuzaki, who's playing as Garen. I had never met this person before, but he was brought in by Ape, and as it turned out, he would do a great job playing on our team. But Ryuzaki would not be on TeamSpeak, it would only be Ape, Earthstrike, and I. However, we were on a pre-made team together. Finally, we've picked up a fifth random person in matchmaking, an Olaf player who's going by the name of Pwn Stars with two Z's. And I said right away on the loading screen, I said, it looks like a bad sign that we've picked up a random Olaf with the name Pwn Star on a week in which Olaf was free. So I had some reservations about that. I was a little bit worried about what we might get from this person. Anyway, our Olaf has taken Smite, as has the enemy team's Olaf, so it looks like we'll be getting two junglers in this game. And then the rest of their team consists of Ezreal, Kayle, Mundo, and Morgana. Because we have a jungler, that means that we will have a setup in which we have one lane with two people, usually at the bottom, and we'll follow standard procedure there. One person solo in the middle lane, and then finally another person solo in the top lane. Ape feels pretty comfortable taking the middle lane, and so he would end up doing that with Xinjiao in this game. I will be taking the top lane with Annie. And then our other two players, Ryuzaki and Earthstrike, are going to take the bottom lane with Zillion and Garen. So that's a pretty good setup for us, all things considered. Now, right away, Pwn Stars, our random Olaf, says back real quick, and he disappears, leaves the game, which is not a good sign, to say the least. He says he'll be right back, but we have no way of knowing if that's true. So already, this is not a good sign. If he does come back, he's going to be a little bit late. And up here, we see Ryuzaki going up to the top lane, and so Earthstrike tells him to come down to the bottom lane. And so that's indeed what we'll do. Anyway, for the moment, we've just got 4 people, so we'll have to do our best until this guy comes back. Hopefully he'll be back quickly. Hopefully he'll be back by the time minions spawn. In the meantime, I'm going to zoom in on Annie and show you her dance, because I haven't done that before. Annie does her little tap dance, I think. And you can always do this. Each character has a dance, each character has a laugh, each character has a taunt. It's not particularly useful or it doesn't really mean that much, but it's a nice little feature. And here's the starting items, here's the summoner abilities. 2 of us have teleport, I've taken teleport, and so has Ryuzaki, which would figure pretty well into this game, as I'll get to later on. I was trying to figure out who I'd be laning against here. I figured that the solo lanes would probably be taken by Ezreal and Morgana on their team, since they're both pretty good solo lane champions. Possibly the Mundo on their team, because I've seen Mundos play solo occasionally. Fortunately, Olaf comes back, but he's already a little late. He's going to be, delayed by some 20 to 30 seconds in his jungling, so that's not a good sign. Anyway, right now, Morgana and Ezreal are both mid, so we're not exactly sure what they're doing down there. As it turns out, Morgana's going to shift to the bottom lane and go along with their team's Mundo. And so I'm going to be laning against Kayle here, which was not expected. Kayle doesn't take solo lanes very often. But as it turns out, I'll be laning against this Kayle player here, which is a good sign, because playing as Annie, I should be able to control this lane. Kayle is a melee champion. She doesn't have, she has some ranged skills, but generally speaking, her auto attack is, of course, not ranged. So that means that if I play smart, I should be able to control this lane. And indeed, Kayle is letting me sort of control this lane, although I am not last hitting very well here, unfortunately. Doing a little bit better job there. Kayle is just letting me sort of push the lane back, because she seems to realize this as well. Alright, just a quick words about Annie's abilities. I've covered Annie in a couple of other videos, but in case you haven't seen them, Annie's key feature is that every 5th spell of hers stuns. And right now you can see I have a stun up. That's the little white circle around me. But I'm not going to use it to go after Kayle for the moment. I'm going to use it to farm minions. That's my main goal right now. I had it said in a YouTube comment in a previous video that using Annie's shield, her Molten Shield, the E skill, does not use up, does not go through Annie's spell progression towards her stun. That was incorrect. So once again, moral of the story is don't follow YouTube comments, follow your own eyes, because I was pretty sure that I had seen Annie's shield proccing through her spells, but of course that turned out to be true. So yes, it is worthwhile to get a point in Annie's shield early on, so I've gone back to doing that now when I play Annie. So yes, YouTube comments not always correct, just as most people probably already have realized. Anyway, Annie's other skills, her Q skill is Disintegrate, which shoots out a bolt of fire, and is useful because it refunds the mana cost if she kills an enemy with it. And there you saw me pop my shield so I could get a stun off on Kale. And then her W skill is Incinerate, which shoots out fire in a little cone in front of Annie, which is another useful spell. It's one of her few multi-target spells, can hit more than one person at a time. And then finally her ultimate is Summon Tibbers, which brings a big grizzly bear out, and then he does good damage, and you can control him as a minion afterwards. So very useful ability. Now Kale, on the other hand, like I said, Kale's a melee champ, so here I'm going to come down, stun Kale, and get in 2 auto attacks. That's something I've been trying to do, get in auto attacks when you hit with Annie's stun. Of course, I had to take some damage too, so it wasn't perfect, but I did manage to hurt Kale. Right now I'm trying to set her up for a kill at level 6 when I get Tibbers. So you can see I'm getting close. I'm level 5 now, getting close to it. I have my stun up again. I also keep checking the bushes because the enemy team does have a jungler on it, and I have to be, I just want to make sure that there's not an Olaf sitting in there trying to kill me. So just want to be careful and check the bushes when I get a chance. But what I'm really trying to do along with that is set up Kale for a kill at level 6. Fortunately, she seems to know this as well. Or unfortunately for me, because she's playing pretty defensively, sticking back close to the tower. Anyway, I'm up to four spells right now. I just need one more to get off a stun, so I really probably should pop off my shield. I'm hoping to draw Kale out here a little bit away from the tower.
I think you're fun.
But she's not biting it. Now I'm going to use my Molten Shield, so that will increase my armor and increase my magic resistance and get my stun up. And so I stun Kale, and Tibbers comes in and hits him. And Kale is really close to dying. I just need one more hit. So I'm going to come in here and kill her and then ghost out. But I'm slow in proccing Ghost, and oh, the tower just gets me. I was so close to being out of range. If I had hit the Ghost hotkey a little bit faster, or if I had used the hotkey for that matter, instead of clicking on it, I would have gotten out of there. So that was unfortunate that I wasn't able to get out, but I did get the kill, and Kale did not get a kill on me. So that means I will get the additional gold for killing her, and she won't get any additional gold for killing me. So that is definitely a net win for my side. Also, because I have teleport, I'll be able to move back to the lane immediately, whereas Kale will have to walk back, and that'll get me a little bit of extra time of experience and gold. So overall, this was definitely worth doing. It's a shame I had to die, but I was very, very close to getting the kill without dying. I'll also pop down a sight ward there, because once again, I don't want Olaf, the enemy Olaf on their team, jumping out of the bushes from down on the river and killing me. Just a pretty safe play, and for 90 gold, it's a very easy investment. Excuse me. Alright, now Kale's back, and we're going to go back to harassing once again. My chances of killing Kale have gone down pretty significantly because she's now level 6, and that means she can pop off her ultimate. Kale's ultimate makes her invulnerable for a couple of seconds, so it'll be very difficult to get her, just because she has that ultimate to shield her. I was going to go for a stun here, just to get in a little extra damage, but Kale backs off wisely, and so I'll instead use that time to farm some more minions. Now, Kale was doing a pretty good job as far as farming. I mean, she wasn't doing as good of a job as me, but all things considered, given the disadvantage that Kale has laning against Annie, I think that this player was actually doing a pretty decent job. The other team probably should have set things up so that it wasn't Kale laning against me. I mean, Morgana would have been a better choice. So here I use my stun, and I come in, and I'm actually not able to hit on my Incinerate, but I am able to get an auto attack as well. Now, Kale uses her Ignite on me. I don't really know what the purpose of that was, but okay, if you just want to use your Ignite, for no real reason, alright. So I got her to waste a summoner ability there. Mostly, though, I'm farming up minions. I guess while I'm here, I'll talk briefly about Kale's abilities. The ability you've seen her use against me the most is her ability called Reckoning, which is an ability that shoots out a little red bolt that freezes, well, it doesn't freeze, it slows the target. So Kale's used that against me a couple times. Great skill, slows the enemy, does damage, very useful. Right there, Kale is farming with her E-skill, which is called Righteous Fury. It gives Kale a ranged melee attack. Well, it turns her attack from melee into ranged attack, and it also gives her some bonus splash damage. So it's her most useful farming ability. Then finally, Kale also has an ability called Divine Blessing, which increases, which is a heal. If you use it on herself or on an allied champion, it will heal the target and also increase their movement speed. So again, very useful ability. Can either speed up, both heals and speeds up the target. So Kale's great for chasing and pursuing. She has a slow, she has a speed, she has a heal. She can shield people, protect people with her ultimate. And then finally, what's the other thing I'm missing? Oh, and then finally she has her Righteous Fury that allows her to farm and gives her some ranged ability. So great champion, one of the better champions as far as the game's set up right now. Mixture of support, mixture of some damage per second, speed, slows, very useful champion. Not tremendous solo, but still pretty good. Anyway, I am out farming Kale there. That's what I pulled up. Yeah, I have 40 minion kills, and I believe Kale has right around 32. So I am winning the lane. I mean, I've gotten a kill, and I've gotten in some damage on the tower. But Kale's doing a reasonable job of holding me here, because she probably shouldn't be up in that lane to begin with. Anyway, I was a little bit low on mana here, so I had to be a little bit more sparing in my spell usage. Fortunately, as long as Annie relies on her Disintegrate and just focuses on last hitting with it, then she can keep casting pretty much forever, because she'll just be getting back the mana she uses each time she casts a spell. So pretty useful there. And like I said, I will focus on last hitting. So last hit. Now another minion's about to die, so let's hit him with Disintegrate, get some more gold there, as I continue to get more mana back and let Kale push forward. I'm only one away from my stun, so if Kale keeps coming forward, I'll look at potentially dropping Tibbers on her. Not that it would kill her, but it would do good damage and, you know, force her to back off and heal for a bit. So let's see what Kale decides to do here. Really, it's up to what she does. And so she's going to come forward, so let's see if we can use Tibbers. And I missed on the stun, unfortunately, but Tibbers does get in a couple of hits, and so Kale's going to back off. So not a great Tibbers usage there, but now I do have Tibbers, and I'm going to tell him to go attack Kale. And so she backs off, and if she's going to back off, then I can continue getting minion kills. So, you know, not perfect, could have been done better, since I did miss on the stun, but, you know, not terrible, not the worst thing in the world. There's a 2-on-2 battle going on at mid at the moment, but I believe that Ape has that covered. Our Olaf came in. Actually, the jungling Olafs came in on both teams. And Kale has backed off for the moment. I'm not exactly sure where she is. Oh, look, there she is. She's trying to come in from behind and get me. But unfortunately for her, I can pop off Ghost. I can use my spells. And that's the great thing about Annie. She has her stun, so I'm able to get out of that pretty easily. Pretty nice play. So nice try, Kale. Notice that she went into the bushes there on the river, and that was in, you know, maybe the 30 seconds after my sight ward disappeared. So I would have spotted that out easily, except that my sight ward disappeared. But thanks to Annie's stuns, I was able to get out of it pretty easily. And now I'm just going to teleport back, and I'll drop another sight ward in the bushes. Over here, our Olaf has gotten ambushed by the other team's Olaf, so unfortunately, Pone Stars has gotten killed, and you know, hasn't been able to help us. We're looking for the enemy team's Olaf. We're not exactly sure if he is still sticking around, but look, there he is over by the river, and so unfortunately he got away, and there's nothing we can do about that. So makes his clean escape. Nothing Ape and I can do. He just got in there and got out of there pretty quickly. Alright, the good news is, as I've said before, I've out-leveled this Kale on the other side. She's doing decently on minion kills, but I do have more of them. Now it does help having Zillion on our team for the extra experience bonus. But I have managed to out-level her, and I have managed to out-farm her as well. So that bodes well for us down the road. And then down in the bottom lane, our Earthstrike and Ryuzaki get a kill on the enemy team's Mundo, so well done. Now Tibbers is already back up again, so I'm going to stun Kale and hit her with my spell combo, get in an auto attack. Now Kale's going to get away because she was, you know, high life to start, but I've done a lot of damage. I've forced her to back off. Now she's going to have to use her mana on heals. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll check back soon with part 2.